Hello friends, Chris Lee here, CPA, back with another video for you. And today we're going to talk about the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, OBBA, updates to HSA plans and HSA accounts. And, we're going to talk about how to maximize those going forward and a look ahead at 2026. So there were some changes that were anticipated to affect HSA accounts, a bigger sort of sweeping landscape that we changes in HSA accounts that we expected with the bill. That didn't happen, but it wasn't without notice that there were a few things that did change. So, if you're anyone that is buying your own health insurance, entrepreneurs, small business owners, that sort of thing, it's important to understand the changes that are going on with HSAs, and honestly, they're totally beneficial. So today we're going to talk about some benefits related to telehealth marketplace plans, bronze and catastrophic plans, and even direct primary care memberships that have been kind of expanded as we think about HSA accounts. So for starters, HSAs are one of the most powerful tools that we have in the tax code. So the contributions to them are tax deductible. That's one benefit. Second, the money grows tax-free, much like a Roth account. So if you invest or if you put funds into an HSA account that, have investment opportunities or that sort of thing, you can, earn interest at like the high yield savings account, or you can invest in, even maybe like an S&P 500 or some other ETF or, index fund. The money can grow tax-free. And then we've got the fact that withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are also tax-free. So that's what we call the triple tax benefit. To get that benefit, though, you have to have all the eligibility requirements met. Another benefit of HSA is if you're running your payroll properly, if you are on a W-2 with your business or what have you, that the Social Security and Medicare taxes on the W-2 also do not apply for your HSA contribution. So that's one benefit that kind of goes unnoticed sometimes that we want to make sure is getting done correctly, because there's a good amount of taxes that can be saved there. So first, let's think about, so one of the biggest changes has been telehealth benefits that might be included as part of a plan. So telehealth coverage that was, provided through a health insurance plan without a deductible used to be, prohibitive under HSA plans. So if that was there, it wasn't considered a high deductible plan. During the COVID era relief, there was kind of a temporary measure that Congress put in place that allowed these telehealth services without a deductible payment to be included without kind of destroying the HSA eligibility. And now this has been made permanent under the OBBA bill. Telehealth and other remote care services are now permanently allowed without, risking the HSA eligibility. And previously, this was set to expire, in 2025, and this has just been permanently extended and retroactively applied to, plan years that are beginning after 2024. So they've basically made an overlap between the legislation to make sure nothing. No major issues happen. So in practical terms, if your health plan offers virtual doctor visits or mental health sessions or other remote care services before you meet your deductible, like it's included as part of just the health insurance, that alone will no longer prevent you from contributing to an HSA. It doesn't disqualify it from being an HSA eligible account. So, or an HSA eligible high deductible health plan. So another significant expansion under the OBBA bill is that bronze and catastrophic health plans purchased through the Affordable Care Act marketplace are now going to be high deductible plans by definition. Under the new laws, bronze plans and catastrophic plans available as individual coverage through an exchange are treated as high deductible health plans for HSA purposes. So that's just regardless of any other terms. And so this is going to apply for months beginning after December 31st, 2025. So this will be 2026. So even if a plan is purchased off exchange, it can still qualify as long as the same plan is available on the exchange. The IRS has also indicated that if a taxpayer reasonably believes the plans qualify, they will not be penalized simply because verifying exchange availability is kind of difficult. So the IRS has a safe harbor in there that the basically bronze and catastrophic plans or similar plans that are purchased off market are now just eligible HSA high deductible plans, just by category. So for business owners who buy their own insurance or use an individual coverage HRA or operate as independent contractors, this increases the number of plans that can be paired with an HSA and get that triple tax advantage. And you also get more flexibility to choose coverage based on cost and healthcare needs without automatically losing that tax savings engine that is an HSA. One of the most important and business-friendly changes also includes direct primary care memberships. So these direct primary care arrangements, sometimes referred to as DPCs, typically charge a flat monthly fee in exchange for access to primary care services without needing to bill insurance. You basically pay a fee and you get access to a doctor when you need them, and it's usually the same practice. So previously, enrolling in a DPC arrangement usually would disqualify you from contributing to an HSA because it would be treated as other health coverage. So that is to say, this is no longer the case for a lot of them, and it's no longer treated as health plans that are going to disqualify you from having an HSA. So previously, like having DPC would basically say you had other health coverage, it would disqualify your high deductible plan, and therefore you wouldn't be able to contribute. So now with these DPCs, you can, they're basically treated not as insurance. And so when we see that, then that leaves the door open for our HSA. So to qualify, the arrangements must provide, so these DPC arrangements, the direct primary care, must provide only primary care services and be compensated through a fixed periodic fee, and it has to exclude major procedures, prescription drugs other than vaccines, and certain lab services. So there is a cap for these to be eligible as well. So for an individual, $150 a month is the cash fee. For a family, it's $300 a month for 2026, and then those amounts are inflation adjusted after 2026. So when structured correctly, business owners can now have both an HSA eligible plan and direct primary care membership at the same time without losing HSA eligibility. In addition, HSA funds can now be used for these DPC fees, which is an upgrade. Previously, like not only would the DPC potentially disqualify your HSA eligibility, but you also couldn't use the HSA funds to pay for those DPC fees because you generally can't use HSA dollars to pay for insurance premiums. Certain exceptions like COBRA payments and that sort of thing, but that is now kind of solved. And so that's the good thing with that. You do have to be conscientious, though, of reimbursement arrangements. So they are generally going to be disqualified, or they're qualified medical expenses and can be reimbursed from HSA. But if your employer, for some reason or through some other plan, is already reimbursing those fees, you can't double dip. You can't get the reimbursement from an employer that's taking the deduction and then also go and reimburse your fees from the HSA and kind of double up. Yeah, that is to say, if an employer pays your DPCs and include it in like a salary deduction, those payments aren't going to be expenses of eligible for HSA reimbursement if you were to pay those out of pocket. So it's important to know this if you're, an S corporation owner or for closely held businesses where you're coordinating payroll and benefits. So all of these changes together really just modernize the HSA. Congress is doing what I think is a good thing in making HSAs more accessible and compatible with kind of the changing landscape that is healthcare and how people access healthcare. So if you're self-employed or a small business owner purchasing your health insurance on a marketplace, and or combining telehealth and DPC services, you now, with an HSA, you now have a lot more options that were kind of prohibited in the past. So I leave all those ideas out there for you. And if, hopefully you'll find some amount of capacity to do some more sophisticated planning with your HSA. And with that, if you have any questions or want a direct consult, details will be down in the video description, and feel free to book a call and we can connect. So anyway, that's all I've got for you today, and be back with another video for you soon. Take care. Cheers.